Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we dig into your source material and pull out the good stuff.
The absolute gold.
Exactly. And today, we're diving into the world of ship duty engineers.
We're going to figure out what this career is all about.
And our trusty guide for this deep dive is RoleCatcher's Career Library.
A treasure trove of information.
It seems like a lot more than just, fixing engines.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is what I think a lot of people think when they hear that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot more to it.
So let's jump right in.
Mhm.
The source material describes ship duty engineers as having, and I quote, responsibility for most of the content of the ship's hull.
Wow.
That seems pretty broad.
It's a big responsibility.
What does that actually mean in practical terms?
Well, think of it this way. A ship duty engineer is like the guardian of a small city
Okay.
that just happens to be sailing across the ocean. You're making sure everything's running smoothly
Right.
from the power grid. That's your electrical generation systems to the water supply, even waste management, all while dealing with, whatever the sea throws at you.
Wow. That's a pretty powerful way to put it. So it's not just about knowing how to, fix a diesel engine.
No, not at all.
It's about managing all these complex interconnected systems.
Yeah, and in a high-stakes environment, too.
Absolutely, because the stakes are incredibly high, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're responsible for millions of dollars worth of equipment,
At least.
not to mention the lives of everyone on board.
Exactly. That's a huge responsibility.
Which explains why the source material mentions the high earning potential.
Right, you're compensated for that responsibility.
Yeah, it's not just about the adventure.
Though that's a part of it, too, of course.
Of course, but, it's not all sunshine and roses,
Yeah.
right? The source material doesn't shy away from the demanding aspects of the job either.
No, it's not easy.
Long hours, physically demanding, potential hazards, even the isolation of being, miles from shore.
Weeks, sometimes months at a time.
It's not for everyone.
Definitely not a walk in the park.
No. It sounds like you need a certain kind of, grit.
Yeah, you got to be able to handle the pressure.
Be willing to face those challenges head on.
Problem solving is a big part of it.
But for the right person, it sounds incredibly rewarding.
Oh, for sure.
And, let's be honest, the travel opportunities, pretty amazing perk.
Who doesn't want to see the world
Exactly.
and get paid for it?
So we've established it's demanding, but potentially very rewarding. But what does a typical day in the life of a ship duty engineer even look like?
That's the thing.
What are they doing on, a random Tuesday afternoon?
There's no such thing as typical in this role.
Really?
That's part of what makes it so interesting. One Tuesday, you might be overseeing maintenance on the main engine.
Okay.
The next, you could be troubleshooting an electrical issue.
Oh, wow.
That's affecting the navigation system. You never know.
So you need to be adaptable, ready for anything. It's not like you have a specialization.
You need a broad understanding of how it all works together.
Yeah.
The whole ship is your domain.
So it's not just about having deep knowledge in one specific area.
It's helpful, but you need to be able to connect the dots.
Be a problem solver.
A leader.
Someone who can think on their feet.
Exactly. Because those challenges, they can come out of nowhere.
And speaking of challenges, the source material mentions the increasing use of automation and AI in the shipping industry.
Right. It's changing everything.
How is this impacting the role of a ship duty engineer?
It's huge. The industry's evolving rapidly, and the role of a ship duty engineer is evolving right along with it.
So are we talking about, what skills do they need to be successful now?
Well, they used to focus primarily on mechanical systems,
Right.
but now they need to be comfortable with, more sophisticated technology.
Less about turning wrenches and more about, programming algorithms or something like that.
Kind of, yeah. You need to be able to analyze data, troubleshoot software issues, understand how these automated systems
Oh, wow.
interact with the entire ship.
So it's this interesting blend of traditional engineering and cutting-edge technology.
That's a great way to put it. It's a really exciting time to be in the field.
For someone who enjoys being, at the forefront.
Absolutely. On the cutting edge.
So for someone listening who's thinking, okay, this sounds pretty cool, this blend of technical expertise, real-world problem-solving, what should their educational background be if they want to even break into this field?
Well, according to the RoleCatcher Guide, a degree in marine engineering is the most direct path.
Okay.
But a solid foundation in mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, even naval architecture, those could all be good starting points.
So it really depends on where your interests lie and how you see yourself fitting into this world.
Exactly.
It's not just about the academics, though, right? I mean, hands-on experience has got to be crucial.
Oh, absolutely. It's essential.
in a field as practical as this.
You can't learn everything from a textbook. You need to get your hands dirty. That's where internships and apprenticeships are really valuable.
It's about bridging that gap between, what you learn in a classroom and actually being out there.
Real world experience.
Yeah, working on this complex machinery.
Out on the open ocean.
That's battling the elements, yeah.
Exactly. Nothing quite like troubleshooting a hydraulic system.
Oh, man.
While the ship's, pitching on high seas.
Yeah, no classroom's going to prepare you for that. So you learn by doing, you get your hands dirty, figure things out on the fly.
Yeah.
What about, career progression in this field?
Okay.
The source material mentions, you start as an entry-level ship duty engineer.
Uh-huh.
And it goes all the way up to senior ship duty engineer.
Right.
So what does that look like practically?
Well, it's a climb, like a multi-tiered climb.
Okay.
And each level comes with more responsibility, more expertise needed. So you might start, assisting, right?
Yeah, helping out.
The more experienced engineers with the, the routine maintenance, that kind of stuff.
Right.
And then gradually you start to take on the more complex repairs.
Oh.
And eventually you could be overseeing entire engineering projects.
So it's not just technical skills that you're picking up as you're moving up.
No.
You're learning leadership.
Leadership, project management, for sure.
That's huge.
Yeah, you got to be well-rounded. A senior ship duty engineer, that's not just a master mechanic.
You're running the whole shit.
You're leading a team, making those critical decisions when it hits the fan.
Right.
You got to think on your feet, delegate. It's a lot.
It sounds like it. It sounds like a good career path for someone who doesn't just want to, master one thing.
Right.
They want to keep learning, keep
Right.
expanding, keep taking on new challenges.
Absolutely. Always be learning.
The source material also mentions specialized certifications.
Oh, yeah.
What role do those play in all of this?
Those are huge. Those are essential, really. They show potential employers that you're the real deal,
Right, you're qualified.
You've met the industry standards, you've got the Marine Engineer Officer certification.
Okay.
Or the Engineer of the Watch certification. Big ones, those.
Yeah.
And they can open doors for sure.
To, better jobs, higher pay.
Exactly. More responsibility, more money, the whole 9 yards.
It's like leveling up in a video game, but
with real-life consequences.
right, with
Yep.
benefits in real life.
Yeah.
So, and as technology changes, I imagine the certifications are going to change too.
Oh, for sure. We're already seeing a huge need for engineers with expertise in automation.
Okay, yeah.
AI, advanced control systems, all that. It's the future.
Right, which brings us back to that question.
Mhm.
How is automation really shaping the future of this field? Is it a threat?
That's what everyone's wondering.
Or is it an opportunity?
I think it's an opportunity, honestly. The shipping industry, they're always looking to be more efficient, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Safer, too, and automation plays a big part in that. But you still need people, right?
Right, someone has to oversee those systems.
Someone's got to operate them, maintain them, and when they break...
Troubleshoot.
Exactly.
So it's not replacing ship duty engineers, it's just...
changing what they do.
Yeah.
You got to learn new skills, adapt, be ready for anything. It's exciting.
So a ship duty engineer in the future,
Mm-hmm.
are they more likely to be looking at a computer screen?
Potentially, yeah. You could be overseeing an entire automated engine room. Imagine that.
Wow.
Analyzing data from sensors, anticipating problems. It's a whole new skill set.
Right. It's a completely different way of thinking. It's not, like you said, the traditional mechanical engineering background.
It's more than that now.
It's problem solving, but it's data analysis too.
Exactly. And you've got to be able to communicate that. What's the point of having all that data if you can't explain it to the team?
Right. Work with others. So those soft skills are still important.
Essential. Communication, teamwork. You're still
Yeah.
part of a team, even
Yeah.
with all this fancy automation.
And you still have to make those big decisions.
Oh, yeah. Decisions that affect everyone on board. Can't forget that.
So you need a cool head. You got to stay calm under pressure.
100%. That's part of the job description, really.
It's interesting because it does seem like, this career path, it requires all of that.
The balancing act.
Technical skills, but the people skills too.
You got to have it all. And that's what makes it
Especially
so
technology.
challenging, rewarding, exciting. You're always learning, always adapting, finding new solutions to crazy problems. It's a wild ride.
It sounds like a career where you're never bored.
Not even for a second.
You're constantly being challenged, mentally,
Practicing.
professionally.
You're always growing.
Yeah. So for someone listening who's like, okay, I'm in, this sounds like a challenge I want, what are the concrete steps, they can take to start exploring this?
Well, the RoleCatcher Guide, they really emphasize networking.
Okay, so reach out to people.
Absolutely. People who are actually doing the job. Go to industry events, connect with people online.
I imagine LinkedIn's a good place to start.
Oh, for sure. LinkedIn is a gold mine. Get those firsthand insights. Those are invaluable. You can't put a price on that.
Right, because you get the real story that way.
Exactly. And you might discover opportunities that aren't even public yet.
Word of mouth.
It's all about who you know, right? But don't be afraid to just, reach out to people.
Just send an email, cold email.
Yeah. Express your interest. A lot of folks in the industry, they're happy to help, to share their knowledge.
To pay it forward.
Exactly. It's like having a mentor, someone to guide you, especially in the beginning,
Yeah, show you the ropes.
Exactly. Because let me tell you, it can be a little choppy out there. And speaking of choppy water,
Literally.
the guide talks a lot about, being adaptable.
Okay, so being able to roll with the punches.
100%. And resilient, too, because you're going to face tight deadlines, unexpected problems
Stuff happens.
all the time. Plus, you're dealing with the ocean.
Right. Mother Nature doesn't care about your deadlines.
No, she does not. So, yeah, you got to have thick skin, be able to think on your feet, be willing to work hard.
Those are good qualities to have in general, I think.
Absolutely. And never stop learning,
Yeah.
That's a big one. This industry's constantly changing, so you got to stay up to date.
So how do you do that? Like, what are some things people can do?
Read industry publications for sure. Go to conferences, take training courses, all of that. Lifelong learning. Make it part of your life.
Because what you learned 5 years ago might be outdated now.
Exactly. It's all about evolving, staying ahead of the curve, and, enjoying the ride. Because it's going to be a wild one.
It sounds like it. So to kind of like wrap things up here, being a ship duty engineer, it's not just about fixing engines.
It's so much more than that.
It's about managing complex systems. It's about leadership. It's about using like cutting edge technology.
Well, it's about the people, too. Can't forget that.
Yeah. Working together, making those tough calls.
And getting paid well for it. Let's not forget that part.
The perks.
Yeah.
The travel.
Yeah.
Seeing the world.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive into the world of ship duty engineers.
It really has. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. And maybe, this has sparked an interest.
Yeah, go chart your own course.
Why not?
Yeah.
Until next time.